Hello guys, today I'm going to show you how to use the croquis from my basic bundle. The basic bundle is a free product you can download on my website. I will put a link to it in the description below this video if you haven't got it yet. And the basic bundle basically includes the fashion design process checklist, proportion scale, several proportion scales that you can use to construct the fashion figure freehand if you like to practice, or if you like to experiment with poses and move around the fashion figure, so you can use those scales. And it includes the three most essential poses, like front view, back view and side view of the fashion figure, as well as the close-ups of each of the figures. Like if you want to design like a jacket, you can use the close-up version of it. And if you want to if you work on footwear for your collection, you can use the feet close-up. If you want to show off details on sleeves or work on something that is more focused around the torso, you can use different close-up versions. And okay, so just to explain how this works. The basic bundle, as well as the premium croquis in my shop, they are all labeled on the side. You have the name, each croquis has a name. Then you have the proportion of the croquis, like this one is 10 heads tall, but you will get most of the croquis in my shop are 8, 9 and 10 heads tall, so you can choose between those proportions. Then this says what type of figure this is. This is the full height figure, and as explained, this is a close-up of the feet and so on. And then this is the category it's in. Like this is the basic bundle. If you had here a more elegant figure, it will say the red carpet bundle. All templates are created to fit a niche. When I make them, I create a pose for a certain type of clothing. The basic bundle, for instance, is the category for elegant garments like haute couture dresses, evening wear, men or women, doesn't matter. So if you want to create a more elegant fashion collection, you browse through the basic bundle. If you need a more like neutral and casual pose, you will go to the catwalk bundle, which includes the most often seen poses and movements along the runway. So if you want to show like movements in the garments and show off layers and how the whole thing moves around the body, you can browse through the catwalk bundle. And the plus size bundle is like everything put together and done with curves, like the most downloaded poses from the red carpet bundle and the catwalk bundle you will find in the plus size bundle as well, and you will find this one as well as curved figure. And okay, let's get started. My standard is using the 10 head figure, and I'm going to walk you through my process. Okay guys, so here are the croquis, and the final illustrations I'm going to use as a cover for the basic bundle, because I didn't have the time to create a beautiful layout that I can use for my header and my website or my social media to promote this bundle. So I'm going to create for each of those figures like separate outfits, and then I'm going to put them together to a beautiful layout. And for the purpose, I went on Pinterest and looked up some reference photos and outfits I will really like for this bundle. And you can definitely use your own imaginations and your own designs, but I'm going to go with reference outfits from Pinterest. I'm going to use my iPad as a light box, I'm gonna trace the croquis to my paper, and I let you vote if you want to see a digital illustration made on iPad, in Procreate, but you wanted to see the traditional one with markers. Okay, now I'm going to show you a trick. I traced the figure almost completely, and I want to move her arm a little bit to the side because I want her to hold a chunkier bag here. Now I'm going to remove the tape, place the figure right back as it was. And now I'm going to use her shoulder to move the figure to the opposite side, like that. And the shoulder line, like this joint, stays as it is, right? I think that's a little bit too much. That's better. And now I'm going to trace the arm. Now, look at this. I have here a little bit more space for, oh, I forgot here the calf. Now I have here a little bit more space for the back. Another trick here. Can you see that the figure is almost traced, but like the head is missing? Do you remember this outfit? This is like a back view, but do you see her head? We can use this. You take the side view, you place both figures on top of each other, and you want them to be straight, and then the shoulders should be at one level, and then you take the profile. Do you see the profile of the face? You tilt it a little bit to the side and match up the neck. You want the head to be a little bit, like the chin should be a little bit lower. You don't want it to be like a perfect profile like in the side view, because this will look stiff and unnatural. Look at this. We have a back view with a head that's looking to the side. And now I'm going to do like a time-lapse video with voiceover, because it's very difficult for me to color or to sketch in general and talk at the same time. So my drawing process, it begins mostly with the sketch. As you can see, the template is very rough, it's very unclean, and it's naked. So at this point I'm going to sketch the outfit on top of the figure, and as you can see, I kept all parts of the body present, even if you are not going to see them later on, like the arm that's under the coat. I keep it just for the purpose of sketching in the coat or the garment correctly. This is where I decide about the hairstyle and sketching all details like garments, shoes, and face if I want to change some features. When I'm happy with the sketch, I go in with a fine liner and make some contouring. This is part of my drawing process. Not everyone will use fine liners to outline the figures, but it's part of mine. Then I take a piece of paper to swatch the colors before I start coloring, and it's the same piece of paper like the one I'm going to use for the sketch, for the final illustration. This is step 3 of my drawing process. I like to pre-select my colors and put them in a box or something else, like keep them handy so I can grab them very quickly when I need some color, and I don't need to go back to my collection and try to pick the correct exact color, then swatch it and apply it. I find this quite distracting. When I'm in the zone of coloring, I don't want to have to make a decision about a color or, you know, lose time in trying to find the best one. Then I have a strategy. I always try to pick 3 colors for each area of rendering. For instance, I would choose 3 colors to render the skin, 3 for the hair, 3 for the jeans, and so on. I like to work with a lot of contrast and light and shadow. That's kind of my style. Then I always start with rendering the skin, especially if you have like transparent layers, and then I will work like forward. In this case, I start with the top, then I render the jeans, and the coat was the last element I did. The hair I do either after the skin, or if it's covering some part of the clothing, I will do it at the very end. When I render light fabrics or white, I like to use a very pale purplish blue because it gives the best effect of white, I find. And then I try in general to work very fast so that the ink has a little bit time to blend in, you know, the different layers. I will apply the very light color, and then while the ink is still moist, I add the mid-tone and then the shadows. And if needed, I will apply another coat of the very lightest color. I'm a fan of good gradients, so this kind of technique helps me stay away from harsh lines, and I like that. The final step of my process is my favorite, the details. And this is where I use mostly colored pencils, white gel pens, fine liners or other fine brushed markers. It's where I work out all lace details, reflections if they are like sequins, like in this case the jeans texture, or the coat in this case has a lot of fringes and small details. Yeah, this is like the part I enjoy the most. And this is the part that makes the design really pop and gives it its character and makes it unique. I want to thank you for being with me, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments. I will answer them gladly, and I'll see you soon on our next adventure. Bye!